Today we are going to explore one of the most famous and historic coins in American history, the top 5_1918 D Buffalo nickel, a beautiful 5-cent coin that collectors around the world love. This small coin carries a powerful story of American culture, Native American heritage, and the spirit of the Wild West. If you enjoy rare and valuable coins, stay with us because this coin might surprise you with its value in today's market. The coin we are discussing today is the Buffalo nickel, officially known as the Indian head nickel. It was produced in the United States from 1913 to 1938 and is considered one of the most iconic coin designs ever made. This beautiful coin was designed by the famous American sculptor James Earl Fraser. His goal was to create a coin that truly represented the spirit of the United States and honored Native American culture. The design became so popular that it remains one of the most recognizable coins in the history of the United States Mint. On the front side of the coin you will see the powerful profile of a Native American chief. Fraser created this portrait by combining the features of several Native American leaders. The word liberty appears on the right side, and the year 1918 is shown on the coin as well. The reverse side of the coin features a large American buffalo standing on a mound. The buffalo design was inspired by a real animal named Black Diamond that lived in the Central Park Zoo in New York. Under the buffalo you will see the words 5 cents and United States of America. Now let's talk about the mint mark. The 1918 Buffalo nickel with the D mint mark was produced at the Denver Mint. Coins from this mint have a small letter D on the reverse side of the coin under the words 5 cents. In 1918, the Denver Mint produced millions of these nickels, but finding one today in good condition is becoming harder every year. Collectors carefully study these coins because the details on Buffalo nickels often wear down with time. When the coin is in good condition and the buffalo and date are clearly visible, collectors value it much more. Now let's talk about the value of the 1918 D Buffalo nickel in today's coin market. If the coin is heavily circulated and worn, its value is usually around $15 to $25. If the coin is in good condition with clear details, collectors usually pay about $30 to $70. If the coin is in very fine condition, the value can reach $120 to $250. And if someone is lucky enough to find this coin in uncirculated mint state condition, the value can rise to $600 or even more depending on its quality and grading. Some rare high-grade examples of the 1918 D Buffalo nickel have sold for over $1,500 in professional coin auctions, especially when certified by grading companies. Another reason collectors love this coin is its historical importance. It represents a time in American history when coin designs were becoming more artistic and meaningful. The Buffalo nickel stands as a tribute to Native American culture and the wildlife that once roamed the American plains. Today, many collectors search through old collections, coin jars, and antique shops hoping to discover this historic nickel. Even a small 5-cent coin like this can hold significant value and an incredible story from more than 100 years ago. So if you ever come across a 1918 D Buffalo nickel, take a close look at it. Check the date, the mint mark, and the condition. You might be holding a small treasure from the early days of American coinage. Fist up coin, the 1986 D 5-cent nickel. Many collectors often confuse this coin with the famous Buffalo nickel, but the 1986 coin actually belongs to the Jefferson nickel series. In this video, we will explore the history of this coin, its design, and its market value in today's coin collecting market. The United States 5-cent coin has a long and fascinating history. The original Buffalo nickel was introduced in 1913 and was designed by the American sculptor James Earl Fraser. That coin featured a Native American portrait on the front and a powerful American bison on the back. The design became one of the most loved coins in American history. However, in 1938 the Buffalo design was replaced with the Jefferson nickel. This new design honored the third President of the United States, Thomas Jefferson. Since then, the Jefferson nickel has remained the standard design for the 5-cent coin produced by the United States Mint. Now let's focus on the 1986 D nickel. The letter D on the coin represents the Denver Mint, meaning this coin was produced at the Denver Mint facility in Colorado. Millions of these coins were struck in 1986, which makes them quite common in circulation today. On the obverse side of the coin, you will see the portrait of Thomas Jefferson facing left. Around the portrait are the inscriptions, "In God We Trust" and "Liberty 1986." The mint mark D appears near the date, showing that it was minted in Denver. On the reverse side, the coin features Jefferson's famous home, Monticello. Above the building is the word Monticello, and below it you will see the inscriptions 5 cents and United States of America. Now let's talk about the value of the 1986 D 5-cent nickel in today's market. In circulated condition, this coin is usually worth between 5 cents and 50 cents because it is still common. However, if the coin is in very good or uncirculated condition, collectors may pay between $1 and $5. High-grade mint state examples with strong details and original shine can sometimes reach $10 or more in the collector's market. So while the 1986 D nickel may not be extremely rare, it is still an important part of American coin history and a great coin for beginner collectors to add to their collection. Next coin. This is the famous 1945 Jefferson nickel with the P mint mark, a coin that was made during one of the most important periods in American history. The Jefferson nickel series first started in 1938 and replaced the older Buffalo nickel design. The coin features the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and the main author of the Declaration of Independence. On the front of the coin you can see Jefferson's profile facing left along with the word Liberty and the year 1945. On the reverse side of the coin, the design shows Jefferson's famous home called Monticello. This beautiful building represents Jefferson's architectural creativity and has been part of the nickel design for many decades. Now let's talk about what makes the 1945 Jefferson nickel special. During World War II, the United States needed nickel metal for military equipment and weapons. Because of this, the government changed the composition of the 5-cent coin. From 1942 to 1945 these coins were made with a special alloy of 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. These coins are often called war nickels because they were produced during the war years. Another interesting feature is the mint mark. The P mint mark means the coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Before 1942, Philadelphia coins usually had no mint mark, but during the war years the large P mint mark was placed above Monticello on the back of the coin. In terms of mintage, more than 119 million 1945 Jefferson nickels were produced in Philadelphia. Even though many coins were made, collectors still value them because they contain real silver and represent an important part of American wartime history. Now let's discuss the market value of the 1945 P. Jefferson nickel in today's coin market. If the coin is in very worn or bad condition, the value is usually between $1 and $2 because of its silver content. If the coin is in average circulated condition with readable details, collectors usually pay around $2 to $4. If the coin is in very good condition with strong details and less wear, the price can reach $6 to $12. And if someone finds this coin in uncirculated mint condition with shiny surfaces and sharp details, the value can rise to $25 or even more depending on the quality and grading. Some rare examples with perfect preservation and professional grading have sold for much higher prices at auctions. So if you ever find a 1945 Jefferson nickel with the P Mint mark in your collection, don't ignore it. Even a coin that looks old and worn can still have value because of its silver content and historical importance. The 1945 Jefferson nickel is not just a small 5-cent coin. It is a piece of World War II history, a reminder of how even everyday money helped support a nation during a difficult time. Next coin. The 1944 Jefferson nickel with the P Mint mark. Even coins in worn or bad condition can still have collector value, so let's discover the story and market price of this historic 5-cent coin. The United States Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938 to replace the Buffalo nickel. The coin features the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, on the front side. Jefferson was one of the founding fathers of America and the main author of the Declaration of Independence, which makes this coin an important piece of American history. On the reverse side of the coin, you will see Monticello, the famous home of Thomas Jefferson located in Virginia. The word Monticello appears above the building, and the inscriptions E Pluribus Unum and United States of America surround the design along with the denomination 5 cents. The 1944 Jefferson nickel is also known as a wartime nickel. During World War II, the United States needed nickel metal for military production. Because of this, the U.S. Mint changed the metal composition of the coin between 1942 and 1945. Instead of the usual nickel metal, these coins were made from an alloy of 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese. This makes wartime nickels special because they contain real silver. One easy way to identify a wartime nickel is by looking at the mint mark. On the 1944 Jefferson nickel, the mint mark appears above the Monticello building on the reverse side. The letter P indicates that the coin was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. This was the first time the Philadelphia Mint used the letter P on U.S. coins. Millions of these coins were produced in 1944 at the Philadelphia Mint. In fact, the mintage for the 1944 P. Jefferson nickel was over 119 million coins. Because of this large production, the coin is not extremely rare today, but it is still popular with collectors because of its silver content and wartime history. Now let's talk about the value of this coin in today's market. If you have a 1944 P. Jefferson nickel in very worn or bad condition, the coin is usually worth around $1 to $2. This value mainly comes from the silver content and collector interest. If the coin is in average circulated condition, it may sell for around $2 to $4. Coins that are in better condition with clearer details can reach values between $5 and $10 or even more depending on the quality. Uncirculated examples that have never been used in circulation can sometimes reach values of $20 or higher, especially if they have strong details and beautiful surfaces. Collectors also look for special varieties such as full steps on the Monticello building. These coins are much rarer and can sell for significantly higher prices in the coin collecting market. The 1944 P. Jefferson nickel is a great reminder of how coins can reflect history. Created during World War II with a special silver composition, this small 5-cent coin tells an important story about a time when the United States changed its coin metals to support the war effort. So if you ever find a 1944 Jefferson nickel with a P mint mark in your old coin collection or pocket change, don't ignore it. Even in worn condition, it can still have collectible value and historical importance. Next coin. This is the 1943 Jefferson 5-cent nickel coin with the P mint mark. Even though many of these coins can be found in worn or bad condition, they are still important in the history of United States coins, and they also carry collectible value in today's coin market. The Jefferson nickel series first started in 1938 when the United States Mint replaced the Buffalo nickel with a new design featuring Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. The designer of this coin was Felix Schlag, and his design remained in circulation for many decades. On the front of the coin you can see the portrait of Thomas Jefferson facing left, along with the word Liberty and the year of issue. This simple but elegant design became one of the most recognizable coin designs in American history. The 1943 Jefferson nickel is especially famous because it was produced during World War II. During this time the United States government needed nickel metal for the war effort. Nickel was used to produce military equipment such as armor plating and weapons, so the government decided to remove nickel from the 5-cent coin for a few years. Because of this decision, the composition of the coin was changed. Instead of the normal copper and nickel alloy, the wartime nickels were made from a special mixture of metals that included about 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese. Because the composition of the coin had changed, the United States Mint needed an easy way to identify these special coins. For this reason, the Mint added a large mint mark above the building on the back of the coin. This was the first time in American coin history that the Philadelphia Mint used the letter P as a mint mark on circulating coins. On the reverse side you will see the famous building called Monticello, which was the home of Thomas Jefferson. Above this building appears the large letter P, showing that the coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Around the design are the words United States of America, e pluribus unum, and the denomination 5 cents. The 1943 P. Jefferson nickel was produced in very large numbers. The Philadelphia Mint struck more than 270 million coins that year. Because so many were made, these coins are still relatively common today. However, the silver content in the coin still gives it a small base value, even if the coin is heavily worn or damaged from circulation. If you find a 1943 P. Jefferson nickel in bad or heavily circulated condition, the value usually comes mostly from the silver inside the coin. In today's coin market, a worn example in poor condition can sell for around $2 to $4. Even though the face value of the coin is only 5 cents, the silver content makes it worth much more than its original value. If the coin is in average circulated condition with visible details but clear signs of wear, collectors may pay around $5 to $10 for a nice example. Coins that are preserved in better condition with sharper details can sometimes sell for $15 to $30 depending on the quality and overall appearance of the coin. Uncirculated examples that still have their original mint luster and very sharp details can be worth much more. In the collector market, some high-quality uncirculated 1943 P. Jefferson nickels have sold for $50 or even higher. Extremely well-preserved coins with exceptional grading from professional coin grading services can sometimes reach prices of $100 or more at major coin auctions. One reason collectors enjoy the 1943 Jefferson nickel is because it represents an important part of American wartime history. These coins were produced during a time when the country was focused on supporting the war effort, and even everyday coins were affected by the need for strategic metals. Because of this, the wartime nickels from 1942 through 1945 are a special and unique group within the Jefferson nickel series. Another interesting feature is the large mint mark above Monticello, which makes the coin easy to recognize. Many coin collectors like to search through old coin collections, piggy banks, or rolls of coins from the bank hoping to find these historic wartime nickels. Even though the 1943 P. Jefferson nickel is not extremely rare, it is still a wonderful coin to add to a collection. Its silver content, historical background, and distinctive mint mark make it an important piece of American coinage history. So if you ever come across a 1943 Jefferson 5-cent nickel with the P mint mark, do not ignore it. Even in bad condition, it still carries collectible interest and a small silver value. And if you are lucky enough to find one in better condition, it could be worth even more in today's coin market. Goodbye, guys.